Okay.
Yeah.
Let me get a.
So I guess we'll start with introductions, right?
All right.
Yeah.
Who wants to go first?
You changed my picture.
Well, since you changed it, I think it's only fair that you introduce yourself.
Do that now?
Yeah, do it
Yes.
now.
Oh, I thought
You're
you were
in the
gonna
hot
do like a
seat.
whole like 10, 20 minutes.
You're in the
before.
hot seat.
Yeah,
did
you're
it.
in the hot seat. You're on the spot.
Okay. My name is Masticator. That's my real name, by the way. And you know, I rock hard.
What kind of rock are we talking?
I'm talking the black rocks and the death rocks.
Mm.
And yeah, I don't know what am I supposed to say?
Give me your resume. Give me your entire resume. What is everything that you have done for metal? Okay.
For metal.
For
Okay.
metal.
2 years ago, I started a band with some friends, and we're called Horde Buar. That's how you pronounce it. And
I've been wondering all this time.
yeah, we play death metal, OSDM copy core shit. But we're done now.
Deathmetal.org said you were a pretty great infestor copy.
Yeah,
I sort of
that's
remember
true.
the day I
I
read
forgot
that.
about that. I forgot about that. I have a magazine called Black Blood, and it's all right.
It's pretty, yeah. It's got some good features. You still haven't sent me my issue 2, though. I'll tell you that.
Oh yeah. What's up with that?
What's up with that?
I sent you that money a while ago.
Yeah, it's gonna happen, man. It's gonna happen.
Daniel's friend
It's
is
gonna happen. It's gonna
sacrificed.
happen. It's gonna happen.
Are you pulling a Noctimistium on us? Are
Yeah.
you?
I
Damn.
bought drugs.
Daniel's every copy of the magazine so far is
Oh my god.
encountered a horrible fate. Daniel has sacrificed it to chthonic forces below the earth.
He's
Oh.
been intercepting
He
mail.
burned it. He's been dismembering the mailman.
Okay, who's going next, right?
Well, we're
We're
gonna
all
go
done
right
with
to
Masticator.
left. I think right to left is good.
Okay, Aiden
order.
it is then.
And then Aiden goes.
What? Oh shit! Fuck. Well, I guess it's different for everybody. Well, yes, I am
Oh.
Demon C Nokia on Instagram, Burzum GameCube on YouTube. I'm the sole owner and proprietor of the prestigious Burzum GameCube YouTube channel. In the hallowed halls of YouTube, consecrated in the highest in 1K, which means I'm pretty sure I can enable monetization. So I'm basically selling out, is what I'm saying. There's going to be a Patreon very soon. I'm living off welfare, and I'm going to grift all my fucking subscribers. So fuck you.
Patreon is where you upload all the rare demos like Pink Green
Bothana.
666.
Yeah, we're gonna have exclusives. Yeah.
Okay.
There'll be
Okay.
Burzum
Unheard of.
GameCube exclusives. Nobody's ever heard of them.
Now, are you done with that? Are we done?
Oh, I just got on the spot. I got an idea. Patreon tier will be. I'll upload your demo there.
Oh yeah.
So
Does it matter
That's-
like how bad it is? Like if I just send you like a
no,
power
I'm
electronics
willing.
demo?
I'm willing to make my. I'm willing to make my channel.
Worse.
Just a dumping ground for the worst shit ever. The most alienating, vile shit that'll turn everybody away from me.
As long as they
So-
pay, it's fine.
Yeah, as
Word.
long as I get paid, I'm willing to sell out. So
All right. I can respect that. You know, you're playing the Kenny Vu angles right here. You know what I mean? I still can't get over the
making money
fact
moves.
he made a shirt with a freaking like a Nazi troll face on the back that said "We
What?
are NSBM, fuck you."
No, the fuck he didn't. I've never seen
He
this.
did. I was on the Black Vault and I was seeing like I was
Such
scrolling
a powerful
across
statement.
Oh.
across from him making mugs and caps with the Mathana logo on it. I saw "We are NSBM, fuck you," and on the back is like it was like a cartoonized like the skull or whatever. I saw it and I just
Yeah.
cracked up so much.
He's slowly becoming like a what is it, Sanguisa Bomb. He's just becoming more of a clothing outlet than a band.
Like if you see pictures of him with his baby mama, he's wearing a Vathana cap. He's wearing a Vathana
They both
shirt.
are. They both
are. They probably get like overstock from whatever like Indonesian place they're printing it at. I guess I go next. All right, so I'm Eric. You know me. Spare not thy sharpest blades on Instagram.com. I guess I'm pretty funny sometimes. I do drumming for Wallachus. And what else? I wrote for Black Blood. Part 1. Part 1. I wrote the thing, remember?
About Russian black metal.
What else? I also had an interview. I paid $40 for an interview. Only yeah, only for him to not know what LLN is. I'm so disappointed.
The messages got intercepted by Daniel.
How can you make music like
eternal
that
enemy
depressive and not know what LLN is? But yeah, that's about it. And then next we have the real Eric.
Yeah, I was going to clarify. I have 12 subscribers on YouTube, 1,300 followers on a personal Instagram page. I don't own anything cool. You know, these other guys are in bands. I'm just a good friend.
I'll give you some money. I'll give you some kickbacks from Patreon.
I spent at least $4,000 to $5,000 on tapes.
Okay. What kind of tapes are we talking?
Some hard rock.
Hard rock.
Hard rock.
That's what Discogs would call it. I still don't know why they like put metal under rock. Yeah. That's so retarded.
Genre, hard rock, style, raw black metal.
Anything that isn't, everything not played with a hurdy-gurdy is electronic music.
So here we go. Now that introductions are over, we need
my
to start
Instagram. My Instagram's Masticator Christ Black Blood. By the way.
He had to plug.
I had to
he had to plug his
Everyone else did it. Everyone else did it.
Okay, but for the news segment, I'm gonna start off with this. Werewolf's wife left him.
That's sad.
He's looking for a new BDSM sub. If you are a willing candidate, apply in his DMs now.
I did not know he had a personal Instagram, and that was the way I found out. Someone was posting screenshots of
it. No more werewolf releases.
Maybe you can ask him about Nintendo games and stuff.
I don't know, dude. Like, he's been really funny recently, though.
I talked to him once about XCOM.
XCOM.
Yeah.
The gamer.
It's pretty fun.
I remember when
I can't remember. That was years ago.
Or he posted like a Grindstone tape and people got really mad in the comments.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I don't know though. I think like Werewolf should really take more advice from Kenny Vu on finding like a proper baby mama. Cause she loves him, right? And Kenny Vu works at freaking Subway. Like, if you have a girl that is obsessed with you and will wear your own band merch, and you work at Subway, dude, you've made it. You literally made it. And
you won.
I want to find the Subway he works at and ask for a Vathana sandwich.
I really wonder how he would react. I haven't seen like any videos of him talking. I just imagine like his mouth gaping and both of his like chins kind of rolling onto one another.
I don't think he speaks English.
No, he doesn't speak English, but works at Subway.
I don't think he talks.
Maybe he's in the back making sandwiches.
He just listens. He just listens. He exists to be commanded by his customers.
I'm just gonna.
You don't come there and simply ask for a sandwich. You demand it from him. Say, listen here. You're going.
Wait, yeah, you're gonna make me a sandwich. What would is it? Lord Nebula want on his sandwich? That's a better question.
He probably gets harassed. He probably gets harassed by people who know who he is.
Yeah,
he puts like an excess amount of meat on it to like to feel
Eggs.
something.
Well, no, he hates he hates Jews. He hates the corporations, right? So he probably thinks he's doing like some genius act of resistance by like adding an extra slice of ham onto each sandwich.
Yeah.
There was another piece of news. Oh yeah, Billie Eilish wearing Mels.
Oh,
Mels on a
Nice.
shirt.
Immense news.
Immense news.
And it's been deleted since, but
It has
the
This will-
impact it's had
this will
cannot be
impact
erased.
the metal underground
This-
forever for years
it's-
to come. Will not
Yes,
recover from this.
the effects are
the impact its
gargantuan.
waves will reverberate throughout history.
Metal will
crazy.
never be the
Eilish
same.
fans,
This is
Billie
just like
Eilish
the Twin
fans.
Towers.
they'll be going into like the B-Sod archives and getting into all that stuff.
She did at one point release a piece of merchandise that was called the Billie Eilish black metal logo.
Oh,
I don't know if you've heard of this. And
That's
I
pretty
think
badass.
she's a fan. She's a fan. She's not a fraud.
yeah,
She's
she's
real.
definitely she's probably more of a fan than most of these people angry about it on TikTok.
Yes,
I remember
I respect it.
at one point her manager was in an interview talking about it. It's like, Billie Eilish, she really represents a new scene in rock.
True.
I bet
the
you-
new punk rock.
You know the person
new
who's
Elvis.
buying like freaking BSOD related tapes on Discogs for like $200? I bet you she's that person.
The only one with money.
BSOD coin is up. That's it.
BSOD coin.
You gotta mine. BSOD coin. We're mining it endlessly now.
Like I
Sell
see somebody
everything you
paying like $520 for a tape, and I'm like, there's no way a normal person is doing that. It has to be Billie Eilish.
Yeah,
It has
those
to
are
be.
bad, but the
Adds up.
Vathana records going for $3,000 in selling
On
What's up
eBay.
next?
on
What's up
eBay and
next?
Discogs.
That
Isn't it
pisses
banned
me
on
off.
Discogs?
I guess the question is basically what's next for Billie Eilish? What is she going to inflate next? Is she just
Demos.
going to go all the way? Yes, with
Rare
Thana?
Billie Eilish demos.
Yeah.
It's
I
happening.
think it's
This is
really
very-
funny how they'll just like. I don't know how a fashion company would get that picture. That's my question.
Pinterest. It's all over Pinterest.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
It
literally
is?
so easy. Yeah, it's
Oh,
so easy
yeah.
to find it.
I've
Like,
seen
if
5
you-
different startups use that image.
Oh
If you
yeah, well I know
go-
it's a common image, but it's just think about how the trickle down of information starts from some random guy. Masticator, you know him. You know the guy who started like BSOD memes in 2018.
Yeah.
Led
yeah.
up to Billie Eilish wearing this shirt.
It's true.
It's literally a snowball effect, and it's gonna happen with stuff that I post about. I promise.
What I
you.
said. It's magical realism. We're manifesting these things in real life. If we just direct our energy hard enough, it'll simply become true. So basically what I'm trying to do is see if I can manifest the big fat fucking groundhog on her shirt, and then just to give me a signal to know that something I'm doing is working.
She also had the fattest camel toe in that image. Holy shit. Holy fucking shit.
I didn't notice that.
Whenever
Yeah,
you see
me
like
neither.
the crowds
I
are
think you're
the
seeing
worst part.
things where there aren't.
Because you'll see the crowds are like actually reaching for it. They're trying to pull it out.
And somewhat related, I don't remember the rapper you posted, but he was wearing a Slam shirt,
Oh yeah,
believe.
yeah, I remember that.
and it sold out like instantaneously.
Who was that again?
It was it Ken Carson?
Oh yeah. True.
What was that one rapper that wore some shirt from Fat Tub of Lard? I think it was Playboy Cardi.
Yeah.
He was wearing some Gornoy shirt.
That's
Well,
that.
I remember years ago he had like a shirt, wasn't it a copy of literally the fucking mortuary drape logo?
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, that's
I just remembered that.
yeah.
That's wild.
That just reminds me of how mortuary drape sucks.
What the
What the hell?
And thinking
Yeah.
of how mortuary drape sucks reminds me of how Drowning the Light sucks and is the worst band
True.
ever.
reminds
That's
me how we
true.
called this Occult
We
Abyss, which
hate
is literally a mortuary drape song. So we're basically betraying all of our ideals here.
Could have named a
Okay.
Drowning Light song.
So what do we want to do? Start on the questions, I guess, because we're all good on
Alright.
news, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who wants to start off?
I don't know. You maybe?
I can start off. All right. So the first one. So let's just, this is a scenario here. All right.
Okay.
You have a completely unreached tribe somewhere in the Amazon. Okay.
Mhm.
And let's just say they started making black metal out of nowhere. Take
Oh,
note
yeah.
that they have no outside influence of any kind of music, specifically punk. Because I know somebody's going to try to respond with like a punk band or something. It's not going to work. What band would they most likely sound like? Like what band embodies that unreached Amazon tribe energy?
Is it a cop out to just say any war metal band?
Yeah, that's what that is,
Uh,
thing.
I
It would
mean-
have to be a Brazilian band because of
Oh yeah.
Oh God,
Amazon.
absolutely.
Oh
it would be-
yeah.
See, I was thinking for a while, probably it was gonna be Lust, like Brazilian, Canadian Lust. You know, Masticator, you know, like Genesis of a Satanic Race, right? Do you?
I'm
No?
gonna be real with you, man. That name does not ring a bell.
Damn. Okay. No, but these guys, it's really weird. It's like war metal, but the leads are just absolutely awful. It's like somebody's trying to play like a solo for the entire song, but they're literally just like going up and down the fretboard like it's awful. It is really bad, but I like it a lot. And the vocals, it's like Silencer kind of, and that's just about all I have to say.
No.
It's not grounded in any kind of music theory. The samples are really awkward. Everything is just so bad. They kind of know how to play their instruments. I'll give them that. But there's like
Kind of.
no melodic nature to it. That would be my answer at least. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I think my answer. I mean, it's nothing crazy, but my answer would probably be like Death Crush by Mayhem, because it sounds like they just like, okay, we're gonna do this, and they did it, and like we did that.
Okay, we're gonna do this.
my answer would probably have to be Cremation from Canada. That was a band that James Reed played in. And
Oh.
it kind of sounds a bit like Infester, but there are like these really stupid vocal parts that come on where it's like this like deep voice kind of sing-songy. Like I remember one
Is that like
track-
Morbid Angel like I am
No,
Belial.
no. It's even worse. Like you'll hear like I remember one part. It kind of sound. I guess they're trying to scare you, but I just like heard this one voice in it, or this guy going like. It sounds like it actually sounds like a retarded man. That's great.
What's the deal with Canadian bands? Like
as in
Retarded.
what?
like I don't know. It's just such a weird region because you have the Quebec like black metal scene that's really good, and then
Yeah.
you have like Canadian war metal, and even death metal. Like if you look at Canadian death metal, it's just really weird.
Canadian death metal. Cryptopsy actually was very connected to the early 90s metal noir Quebecois scene. I thought that was pretty cool.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Lord Worm was like best friends with Frozen Shadows. I know that.
Damn, that's actually I didn't know that. All right, Eric, what are you thinking? What are you thinking here?
Oh, my answer was probably gonna be INRI, just because, and mostly for the poor vocals, the poorly
Hey.
translated,
Oh,
poorly
whoa.
translated,
Oh, okay,
translated.
okay.
I had to kind of
Okay.
fucking finish that off before I got fucking crucified. Shit.
Okay.
Nice.
Yeah, I was about to. We're about to have a little argument over this. I think those are all pretty good answers. Yeah. So the next one, this is going to be a really good one because it's metal, but it's not metal related. Is
Okay.
pick a non-black metal release to sum up the black metal experience, but you get bonus points if you don't if you exclude metal or noise genres.
Oh shit.
Okay.
What the fuck?
So I've been kind of struggling with this too. I won't lie. What are we thinking? Just leave.
Oh shit.
I'm
My
not-
cop out was gonna
I'm
be
not
just saying
thinking.
any noise band, but
I mean, you would get bonus points if you didn't name a noise band, but you can name one. I'm just gonna ostracize you.
Are you gonna name a band or like an album? What was the thing here?
It could be either a band or an album.
Fuck. I'm sputtering.
And
It's a bit of a question.
acoustic albums by black metal bands don't count. I'll also add that.
really limiting us here in our options. Jesus.
I don't know. Maybe like Suicide by Suicide, if anyone's heard that. From like the 70s.
I'm
Okay.
not maybe hold up.
Let me think.
That's like the only thing I can think of right now.
I don't know. I think the biggest.
You not have an answer for yourself?
I
This is your
actually,
question.
yeah, I did have an answer for myself. This is something that I was going to talk about. What I was listening to earlier. It would probably be Lacrima, which is what I've been hearing a lot. That's just in its extinction of side project. We've been talking about that Masticator,
Oh,
but it's kind of because it of course is black metal adjacent, considering like a lot of the projects do go in the black metal. It's kind of like BSOD, where he will start a project in like this genre, but eventually just evolves into a black metal band, like whether consciously or subconsciously. I like the themes a lot, though. That's the main thing. Is like it's worship of nature, but it's also like hatred of the current human condition. So that would probably be my choice for now. My other
what's the band
choice,
called again?
Lacrima. You should definitely check it out.
Oh, all right.
There's one song, All the Pain, where it gets like it's almost like DSBM, but folk, like neo folk, because he does this thing where like he cries while playing the guitar, and it's actually it doesn't sound very good, but it's actually really great. I don't know. It's good though. It's really good. I've been enjoying Extinction stuff recently. But who wants to do questions next? Because I only had two.
I have boring questions, but I can go.
Okay, that's fine.
Oh, fair enough.
Okay, first off, what are some popular bands that you never checked out?
Oh,
Well, like bands that I never checked out until now, or bands that I just never checked out.
Just never checked out. They're like fairly known.
That one's easy. Probably Life Lover.
Oh,
I don't think I've ever listened to Life Lover.
I think they're good. I like them. First
Damn.
album's great.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. They're just something I never like aesthetically or anything else paid attention to. Mostly because it's not my genre.
I think like aesthetically, I think Left Lovers has like an interesting thing going on because of like if you listen to the first album, that's like it really encapsulates the feeling of you like sitting on like a night bus at like 4 a.m. in a city you've never been to, like looking out the window. Just it sounds exactly like that. It's a really interesting feeling.
Yeah.
And I don't think much black metal can really encapsulate that.
Yeah.
It's like isolation, but it's isolation while being around people.
Yeah, it's like it's an urban sadness.
Yeah, it's like an urban decay sort of thing. I liked it.
Yeah, and I can't
Usually when they go into like weird sexual stuff too, it's kind of like they make it like gross.
Yeah.
Kind of like Graham Bilal's Key. I wonder if there's a connection there. That Life Lover,
Graham Bilal's Key and Life Lover.
They're on the same wavelength creatively.
It's hard for me to answer this question because the way I got into black metal was just listening to every fucking
classics?
every
Yeah.
popular band I could find.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess the closest way of me answering this is I never listened to Mayhem past Live in Leipzig and Death Crush.
Hmm.
And
I'm kind of disappointed for that.
half of the Mystery Dome sat in this.
Why half?
It didn't interest me halfway through listening it. I just had to turn it off. It got boring.
I'm disappointed in you.
I know.
What an answer. For
It's
me,
like-
oh shit.
Oh.
Fuck.
No, you go first.
Okay, for me, I'd probably say Dark Funeral just because of I don't know, like the early albums, pretty on, and like
I mean, like
the
you're not
David
missing
Par-
out.
Well, I mean, the David Parlin era. The David Parlin era was pretty good. I mean, he was the early necrophobic guitarist. He did Nocturnal Silence in Black Moon, the Dark Side. So, I mean, that stuff was pretty good, but everything after is just like retarded, like Norse core. I mean,
Yeah.
Okay, but yeah, I think that's a pretty good choice. Dark Funeral, it's like there's kind of a bell curve to it. Like at the bottom, you just love it just because you haven't listened to anything else. In the
Mhm.
middle, it's just like you refuse to listen to mid bands, and then at the top, it's just like I like it sometimes.
once you reach a certain point, you'll like listen to whatever.
You would.
You'll
Oh, yeah.
seek it out. Yeah.
Yeah, there was a point
You're
where
just
like
oh, what's this about?
yeah, there's a point where I was like listening to random Bandcamp bands, and I was like, I don't want to do this anymore, dude. I don't want to listen to any. I don't want to listen to any black metal made past 2011. I'm just sick and tired of whatever's happening. It kind of got ruined, I would say, like after probably 2015. The beginning of the cracks
Yeah.
could be seen in 2015, but it was really cemented in 2020, I'd say, with the quarantine.
Fuck.
We were talking about
Definitely.
that earlier, like quarantine projects.
Hmm.
Oh,
So-
Yeah.
Just the dreadful looking album covers.
At
on
this point,
Bandcamp.
yeah.
Drawn
If
by
you see
Rotting
UK,
Rain.
if you see it from the UK, just avoid at all costs.
True. I think my answer to this would be Arcturus.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I was considering saying that. I was considering
Yeah.
Arcturus,
I've
but I was
seen it
gonna
just-
say like only the early stuff.
Yeah, I mean that's what I mean because I haven't heard that either.
You're just completely blind on it. I don't think you're
Yeah.
missing. Like it's a good band, but you're not missing
Oh,
out on
the
too much.
later stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking early though because I see it everywhere. Always have seen it everywhere, but just never checked it out.
It's pretty good. It gets a bit too noodly with the guitars. It's like even on the early stuff. Like they do like this weird like shredding shit. And it gets a bit too overbearing, but it's alright.
I just can't stop looking at Masticator profile picture.
I'm constantly entranced by
Okay,
Is that you with an old man filter?
Yeah. Okay, so here's my next question. So, what's the most goated use of synthesizer?
Ooh.
I'm gonna like this one. I'm gonna like this one. So I guess
I'm
I'll
gonna give
answer
it straight
first.
away. No,
Okay.
I mean,
Yeah,
unless you want to go.
ahead. Go ahead.
I instantly will go with Kataxu. In my dungeon
agree.
has like probably one of the greatest synth intros of all time. It's like do 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 do. It's just I don't know. It's almost perfect to me. And by extension, I would put Fanisk, but they're just a bit lower. And all bands in that style.
Yeah.
There's
Mhm.
I don't know. Kataxu is just about perfect. Their 2020 album, or was it 2021?
Yeah, it was 2020.
On initial listen, it was kind of but I don't know. I kind of warmed up
The
to it.
guitar, the keyboards aren't there.
Yeah.
I guess I'll answer next. Most goated keyboards. I'm flip flopping right now. Probably shit. I'd have to say like maybe between limbic art in a
Mm-hmm.
shit in abhorrence dementia. Is that the name of the album?
Yeah.
Yeah. The like as far as those Norwegian bands go, it's probably the most like developed that symphonic stuff ever got. Besides like Obtained Enslavement. Obtained Enslavement, the synths they used were mostly just like the normal string patches and
Mhm.
pianos, but it's like in limbic art, it's like they go with all sorts of shit. They got I'm pretty sure I heard like a harpsichord in there once. But my second one was also probably Imprecation Third
Oh,
Go Sama, the demos.
yeah.
That
Because
was
just
like
like it's such no other band
Demos.
besides Infestor does synths like that.
True.
Which by the way, Imprecation just dropped a new song today. I wasn't too impressed by it, but there were synths there. So that is notable. That is notable.
I
Yeah,
think synths
awesome.
and death metal is kind of underrated. We
It
need
it
more.
is.
Really.
It is. Unless
Really
it's
is.
like the Morbid Angel thing where they just do like 30 fucking interludes. Or
Heretic.
it's just video game music.
Yeah. Drum check. Why was
Drum
drum
check.
check even?
Terror of Mecha Godzilla. I love that one. That's such a great song title. That's
What's
an
your
actual
favorite
song
Morbid
title.
Angel album, Aiden?
What a question. Fuck. Probably Covenant, honestly.
Ooh,
I don't know.
that's contrarian.
It depends on the mood I'm in. It depends on the mood I'm in. If like I'm
What
like
the fuck?
if I'm looking for some like in your face shit where it's just like blasting, probably Covenant. But or if I'm looking for like a more like sort of sepulchral cryptic atmosphere, it would definitely just be
Gateways?
Altars or
Oh.
Demos. Oh fuck. But it's like every single Morbid Angel album is like it all appeals to like a certain
That is true.
theme, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, like, yeah, like Gateways has like this just like volcanic guitar sound going on. And shit. Yeah. Domination is well domination, you have to be constantly ambivalent about that. You can never have an opinion on domination, negative or
Yeah, if
positive.
you
That's
say
the rule.
yeah, if you say Domination is your favorite Morbid Angel album, you're just trying too hard. That's the same
Mhm.
case with like Dark Throne Panzerfaust. Like if anybody tells me
Yeah.
that Panzerfaust is the best Dark Throne album, I'm just gonna straight up call them retarded and a
Yeah,
contrarian.
like Heretic has like an early aughts like kind of like hyper death metal thing going on. I don't even know like there was a sort of theme going on there with some other bands like Hate Eternal. It's got like a time and place kind of. And
Yeah.
if you're like a cowboy who takes it up the ass, I guess you're gonna like Illa Divinum Insanus.
I like
So,
Formulas the best. I would say Formulas
yeah.
is my favorite Morbid Angel
Yeah,
by far.
Formulas is like the most. It's got like a ceremonial sound to it. It's the most occult one.
True.
I would
Because
say it's the most brutal.
They're singing about like fucking ziggurats and shit.
We went on kind of a departure.
I noticed.
What is it? So Eric and Masticator have to answer the rest of this question, right?
About favorite
Since
Morbid Angel?
No, it
the
was
synths wasn't.
Oh,
it?
Synth.
yeah, the
Fuck.
sense.
We
Oh,
drifted off
shit.
hard.
We're running out of
Um,
meeting time though. We've gone on such
Okay.
a tangent. We've gone
okay,
on such a tangent.
When I wrote that question, I was having in mind like a specific part of a specific song from a specific band.
Oh
No.
shit.
Oh,
So my answer to that question would be a perfect vision of the Rising Northland by Immortal on their first album. At like the end of the track when it goes to like really
Oh.
like
Okay.
sort of blazing triumphant part. It's like kind of even sad, really. It's just really
oh, so it's
cool.
like French stuff where it's like
We're
it's
running
kinda
out of time,
sad, but
Steon.
it's-
You got to bang this one out fast.
Oh, fuck.
and that's why I think it's cool. Bye.
okay. Eric,
Okay, well we got a
Oh,
minute
fuck.
and a half
This one's
to
gonna
go
show
now.
how much of a fucking retard I am. I really don't know, man. That is a good because I'm bad at pointing out instruments and music. I listen to it as one whole thing. I never point anything out.
autistic blood.
I
Alright.
am a genuine fucking moron listening to music.
So I wanna get out the worst question I have,
Uh-oh.
because it sucks. So all I wrote in my notes is just photo versus artwork cover.
That's a good one.
That
I
is-
mean, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what I meant by that.
I
but,
think
like,
we can get it. I think I
It's
got
pretty
it at
obvious.
least.
It's pretty
Yeah.
obvious.
Okay.
I think the main problem with photo covers, or maybe just nowadays, it's always
Oversaturated.
indistinguishable, not unique. They all have some shitty frame they paid $50 for.
yeah.
Fuck the frames. I hate the frames.
I hate frames, dude. Always done
Uh,
by like Rotting Rain or Anal.
Mhm.
Anal. How do you say that?
Two of
How do
those
you
done
say
by
that?
our hail or fail
It's
selections.
AINUL. How do you say that?
Anal.
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 I don't know.
I don't know.
No.
I
Settle
can't.
on
I can't hate on him. He did the artwork for my zine.
No, he's a great artist, but
Didn't he
I
get
just
scammed by Cemetery.
yeah, he got scammed by Cemetery.
God.
What was I
Yeah.
gonna say? I think that issue is the same thing with like artwork though, because don't tell me you haven't seen the same Bosch painting as like 40
True.
different album covers.
Oh yeah.
Like
Yeah.
like Signer
Yeah.
Voland, Consummatum Est. I think that same cover was used for Ifernak's last the 2020 album.
Yeah. The capitulation of all life or something.
Yeah.
That was
With
pretty good,
Argo
too.
Slint, with like how they do it, I mean, it makes a bunch of sense for like their whole their subject matter beyond the racism, but there's also like that weird like there's like that colonial element to it, so it's very
Yeah.
fitting. But so it's like I couldn't really imagine it any other way. Like
Yeah.
if like Necrolord did an Argo Slint cover or somebody like that, I couldn't, I wouldn't have it any other way. So it depends.
So yeah, some of them like you couldn't imagine another form of art, but for me, like I don't know. I think there should be more emphasis on searching for a proper album cover instead of just using like medieval sketch art. Like so many freaking Bandcamp tier bands.
So
do
much
now.
generic shit.
Oh my
So much
God.
in it.
Yeah.
Like there should be more art placed in like like back probably around the 80s where people were looking in these old anatomy textbooks and doing scans of them for like covers of their OSDM demos or whatever. We need to go back to that where you would be
But
like
would it
What?
still be the case if it weren't so oversaturated? I mean, like if there weren't so many like generic paintings being used, would you still have a problem with it?
I don't think I would, because if like the paintings were all different and stuff, and I don't know.
Well, yeah, they all just have to be the same artist all the time.
But
to
for
shoot
me,
these ones.
mine is gonna be an autism answer. But my favorite is the mix of like artwork and photos. So I like where they take
Yeah.
photos and then they'll like
Give an
draw
example.
stuff over it. I guess I don't know, like Hermitus counts. Where he did like I don't remember what cover this was, but like he drew the name of the album on top of that. That's kind of what I mean. Is like where it'll be like, you know, it's kind of like border shit. It's kind of like border shit.
Kinda like
I,
It's
border
not-
shit.
I thought you were thinking about like the one like Signar Voland EP or whatever, where they have this like photo of themselves on top of a painting.
Oh,
That's a good one.
But I really like that cover though. It's really
I
cool.
hate that cover.
It's so fucking bad. That's the only reason I listen to them, because it looked like,
I like
like a
it.
joke.
It should all be like the liner notes of the Odium album, where it's just your head floating in space.
Why was that ever cool? Why was it ever cool to just like have your head floating? Why was that ever like a trend with black metal?
It was Norway, and the thing at the time was space. Limbonic Art was doing it.
Yeah, that was around like
Sagoth was doing it, but they were from the UK. But
oh yeah, that was around like 99, right?
It's about like 97 to 99. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember hearing some horror stories about 99. I don't know if you know this too, Masticator. Why is your name Heavy Metal?
I don't know. I just changed it.
Like somebody was Sean, the guy who Eric, Sean, but he was telling me
Oh. Oh my god.
gave you like PTSD.
Scammed $400.
But he was telling me about how 99, 2007, 2015, and 2020 were like the worst years for black metal because it was having the most like outsiders pour in. And in 1999, it was partly because of the space stuff, but it was partly because of like it wasn't post black metal at the time, but it was like this like futuristic industrial stuff. Like if you talk about like
Yes.
666 International. I hate
The
that
cybergoth
album.
phase.
I hate that album.
It's also quaint. It's also quaint now.
Because it has such good second wave riffs. Like
Yeah.
666 International would have been an awesome second wave album without the stupid piano interludes,
I
without
hate those.
the industrial bits. It would have been so great. Wasn't it was the Over guy who helped mix that, right?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure. They were really talented though. Like the mixing is cool, but
I kind of like the aesthetic of the album, sort of. It's weird. It's kind of alienating.
it is
Like,
it is
I-
alienated.
Like it's almost like that shit. Abigor.
Abigor. Which
I
one?
can't remember the name of the album.
Oh, is
the
it
one
their
where they were
first
the
avant-garde
most-
one?
the most industrial they ever got on that.
Oh
album.
yeah, I
It
know
probably
exactly
was
what you're
also
talking
their
about.
most avant-garde one, but it's like something about it's really like cold and
Yeah, I
kind
love the
of
drumming on that album.
yeah.
It's got
is good.
I don't know. It's such impressive drumming. Abigor is probably like one of my favorite second wave bands, just because they've always been
Mhm.
so ridiculously tight with everything. But we don't talk about Demonized. Fractal Possession, yeah. It's just
You
got some
can't
great
talk-
drumming work.
You can't talk about the cybergoth shit without talking about Covenant.
That was just it was just a bad time. It was like it was almost like when death metal was kind of transitioning and a lot of bands were going into groove metal or into new metal. It was kind of that for black metal.
Yeah.
Just a bad
Wouldn't it
time.
be like this same time period as well?
Yeah, it is about the same
Yeah.
time.
Everybody was having their Matrix phase. Matrix came out.
Okay, I guess that's enough of that question.
That's enough. Yeah.
Next one, I got dumbest title used in black metal.
Oh,
Like for any kind of title.
As in
I saw
like
a good one a
title
few days ago.
or
I saw a
like
few, I
album
saw-
title or what they call themselves.
It could
I
be
got a
any
good
title. If it's like an album title or a song title.
I
or
got a
like
good
anything
answer.
like that.
Uh,
Bring it on.
Retarded necro-dimensional.
Oh yes,
by
yes.
Fatala.
Wait, by
word-
who?
That is such a good album.
Retarded necro-dimensional hole by Fatala. From Portugal.
Oh my god.
That's a really good one. It's like I don't know. Have you listened to it, Aiden?
I've been meaning to, but the name the name was the most striking part of it. I mean, how do you follow up on that?
Well, it's like this really weird like improv black metal that the guys have been doing for quite a while. It's very good. It's just it doesn't really have that much direction, I'd say, mostly because most of it is improv. My choice would probably be this is in English, the English translation, but it's Epic Fail. The Epic Fail by Eisenwinter.
Oh my god.
They are I just really love like how they kind of implement jokes into NSBM. It's just kind of silly. They're silly guys, I think.
The-
For a
Epic
second
Fail.
one before I forget, The Black Fuck by Impiety. But that's a song title, so it doesn't quite count.
Yeah, I mean,
Oh, it does.
No.
it
Any
does
title
count.
counts.
Any album title, track
Oh.
title, anything.
Okay, fair enough.
Oh,
The Black
also
Fuck
another
by
good one.
Impiety. There you
I
go.
wrote I wrote about this in Black Blood Zine 1, but it's Fuck Satan by Hex and Vomit.
Oh yeah.
It's like it's like a double entendre because it's like, do you mean this in a Christian way, but you're saying the F words because it's unchristian? Or is it like, do you want to have sex with Satan? I don't understand it.
Oh,
I've
Oh.
actually spent a while thinking about it.
another,
Oh.
not a black metal band, some weird like evil speed metal band, but a pile driver, alien rape. Thank you very much. So there you go.
The answer I had ready for this question was "Nuclear Girl" by Beharit. It's like
Yeah.
it's like not like obscene in a funny way. It's just nuclear girl. It just
If it
doesn't
had
make
lyrics,
sense.
It sounds
if
like
it
a
had
surf rock
lyrics-
song.
yeah, if
Yeah,
it
I
had
don't know- I don't-
lyrics, it would
I don't know what they were
Probably.
trying with that.
I don't know what they were
Yeah.
going for.
I think my
it's
answer.
an ambient song, so just name it fuck all.
My answer would have to be one of the Reek of the Unseen Gas Fume members. Two of them are just gibberish. I don't think they mean anything. But that the one in English is war crime rapist.
Yeah.
Wow.
Also,
Okay.
How do you top that?
I want to say the song "War Crimer" by Full Moon. Just name a song
Yeah.
"War Crimer."
Also,
Crimer, not just war crime.
We gotta
what
get
is it,
one that's that's not like purposefully obscene, because so far all the answers we've given have either fuck or rape in the name. So it's
What about Barbados? We're black metal. Fuck you.
it's all such, yeah. It
Any,
seems like
like,
the through line with
Abigail
all
title.
these. It seems like the through line with all these is just like obscenity.
But that's
I don't
fun.
know.
What about
Well, to be
gruesome,
fair,
Hmm?
go on.
gruesome esoteric pedophilia? Hand of
Oh.
Glory.
Yeah,
There you go.
That
one's
works.
awesome.
Yeah.
Damn. I don't know. Hand
I
of Glory
haven't.
is weird. I was gonna go on a tangent, but you can say it.
Doesn't-
Yeah.
The
Oh.
name doesn't the name like mean masturbation or something, or
No,
I think
I don't
no.
know.
doesn't.
But
Hand
the
of
main
Glory. Hand of Glory
That's
is
just-
supposed to mean like
just me,
like
I guess.
the right arm of like a hanged person or something. It's
Yeah, I
supposed
think
to be
that's
the
what it
Hand of
is.
Glory.
But the main thing that's weird about it is that like Lamb was a really controversial figure, but they were still signed, like he was still signed under what's it called? Sanguine Eagle under
Yeah.
Profound Lore,
Oh,
which is
really?
funny. Yeah. It's really funny though, considering that like in the past Profound Lore has literally like taken people off of their roster because the band said that like they wouldn't no longer be under them. I can't remember specifically what bands it was, but they just completely removed them off of the roster for being like too offensive or something like that. And
I didn't know that.
considering they allow somebody who has mongoloid, gruesome, esoteric pedophilia, and
Yeah,
and
I've noticed that with them, with
and he-
Profound Lore. They only seem to like take something off the label once there's enough pressure put upon them by
well, it's because
people.
the lead guy is sketchy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because the lead guy is sketchy, but the bands kind of control who he is.
I feel like there's
Mm-hmm.
more with Lamb. I feel like I've seen more with like that kind of stuff, like the band called Mongoloid. Or no, the band was called Mongrel, was it? The track is called Mongoloid.
It
But I
was,
feel like there was more like that.
It was a Keatsa that got kicked from Profound Lore,
Oh, really? What?
Yep. which is I'm surprised that they ever were on Profound Lore, honestly.
Does anybody actually think a Keats is like racist or something?
I
'Cause
mean,
it's vague. I mean,
dubious.
the guy looks like Richard Spencer, so I mean, that's probably the most sketch thing about them to me. He just looks like Richard Spencer with a bit of a beer belly going on, but
I mean, if you just look at like all the ties with like the Tour de Garde
Klaxon.
label and stuff,
Yeah,
You could easily find something to be pissed off at, but like,
But you can do that with anybody. Like,
yeah, right. But like, nothing inherently about a case
If you
is
look
like
hard enough.
really bad.
it's kind of just, I think it was just the band shit flinging. Cause like, if you look at the band's under profound lore, it makes a lot more sense. Like, I don't think it's a bad label though. Like, some of the bands are, sure, they're really overhyped. Like, if you're talking about like Spectral Wound,
Yeah.
like Spectral Wound is massively overhyped, but I don't think there's anything inherently bad with them.
Yeah.
But
We're playing a show here in not too long. I'm not planning on going though.
I really don't like black metal live that much, unless you're talking like Profanatica and stuff like that. But like straight up black metal live is not the same as like BDM.
Oh no.
That's probably like
Obviously a difference.
it's just not the same for me. Like with BDM, I get hype and everything. Like
Paul, if you listen to Paul talk about like a live sound, he seems to get very passionate about it. I don't think too many black metal bands are too passionate about the sound of their live show besides like
Yeah.
aesthetics and stuff like that. Whereas
well,
like with Profanatica, you could feel the bass. You could just like feel it in your gut.
and
It's
it gets to
crazy.
the point where like one really cool thing I like about Profanatica is as soon as an album releases, people don't like instantly judge the album. They wait until they play it as a live set. Like I've seen that with so many of my friends. They'll be like, okay, let's just see how they play it live first. Like I know I didn't really like the new album until I heard it live and I was like, dude, this is awesome. Even though their best song on it is still an older song, Broken Jew.
Yeah.
So Aiden, questions or Eric questions?
I'll have to get my shit one out of the way. What's your contrarian opinion on either a band or an album?
Oh, that's not bad.
Yeah.
Gotta get that out of the way.
Just kind of basic, but
Gotta get my mind jogging for this one, I think.
I got mine. I guess I'll go first.
Mm-hmm.
I don't quite mind Branicol. That's it. Or any of the Bladesbirth Hall bands. There. Said it.
You don't like it?
I don't dislike it. I just don't mind it. I mean, I could listen to it. I'm not over the moon about it, is what I'm saying.
Yeah. I think it's it's like a music that's kind of it depends on what you are.
It doesn't
Like,
it doesn't
what state
hold
you're in.
my attention too well.
Well, yeah,
I don't know.
it's one of the most repetitive forms of black metal.
Maybe
I'd say.
my sensory. But then again, I also really like Moonblood. So it's like, what the hell? Am I just retarded?
There's some stuff
It
that
mu-
people just don't like.
That must be the answer.
That's the only answer.
So we'll settle for that.
I still think Branicol is the best black metal band of all time, but I can respect your opinion, I guess, for the time being. I guess
Low energy. Just go all out on me. Just call me a retard.
I mean, no, I can get why somebody wouldn't like it. That's the thing. It's
Yeah.
very slow. It doesn't. I mean, it doesn't progress as much as like most things. It's about. I don't know. It's just very repetitive and stuff, and I enjoy that. I enjoy repetition. It's like that very hypnotic type of black metal that you see in like Ildjarn or something, but it's. I don't know. It's just a lot better because Ildjarn is. I don't even know what I'm fucking talking about.
Yeah.
trying to think.
To be fair, Branical's probably like one of the most conceptually black metal bands ever, I guess. Just like how repetitive it is. I guess most of the black metal I like sort of like follows almost like a death metal kind of song structure.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
It's not quite, yeah. I won't
Yeah.
get into that.
I'll also say that they have the best ambient tracks. I would say that Branicol has like the hands down the greatest ambient tracks because it was so unique for the time because it's literally just it's clean guitars layered over each other and it slowly progresses and it's definitely something unique for the time. I guess my most contrarian opinion is I would say Nathan's Madrigal is the best Norwegian album just hands down the best Norwegian album. It's not exactly
Wow.
contrarian. It's just,
Damn.
I guess, unpopular. What do you think about that, Stian? Because I know you like it.
Yeah, I was kind of expecting you to say like it's the best Norwegian album like after like 1996 or something.
That's what I was thinking too. I was
Yeah,
waiting for
but
that.
I mean, I don't mind that opinion too much. I mean, it's certainly up there for like all time, but if you look back at the earlier years, you find something like a little bit better, I think.
Like
But
what?
it's-
What are we talking?
I don't know, like just really immense classic, like say First Burzum or something.
Yeah, well, First Person would be way up there, but I don't know.
think I think Nattens Madrigal got like at least 2 skips for me.
At least 2 skip.
Like if I want to listen to it and like just really fucking feel it, I'm skipping 2 tracks. You know, and I don't think I feel that like that with the First Burzum album, for example.
Well, yeah, there's a lot of I guess differences in the Burzum album, in the first Burzum album. No 2 riffs sound the same.
Yeah.
That's one thing I like about Nattens is it's an endless barrage. You know what I mean? There's not really much stopping,
hmm
which I think they're Over's first 3 albums are really weird in how they differ.
Yeah. I
Maybe-
was thinking about just like the other day, imagine like being some teenager back in the 90s. You listen to the first Oliver album and you think it's like this amazing atmospheric experience, and you get the next Oliver album and it's just like this folk album. And then you just get like, then you're like, what the fuck? And then you hear Oliver got a third album and you buy it and it's like the most fierce, raw fucking thing ever. Like, how do you change up that much in the span of 3 albums?
It's kind of like the development of Ancient. Like shit, what's the name of the Ancient debut?
Svartalheim.
It has like the most death metal guitar sound besides Demon Sea and Profanatica of any black metal band I've ever heard. Like what's the name of that song? Caught like Lord of the Absolute Deep or whatever it is. It's like that opening riff just sounds like a straight up cyanide riff or some like Death Doom shit.
Yeah.
But then they
Ancient
go,
is such a nerd. Oh my
and then
god.
imagine the next album you listen to is like this. There's a singing lady, and it's like this gothic shit.
It's
but being over and like pulling that 360 a third time, like how do you do that?
Their progression is definitely very interesting, I'll say.
Or like a 180, I should more.
Yeah. That first Ancient album is really weird too. I remember specifically I was reading through like zines and stuff, and they were just talking about how mad people were because of how melodic it is. Like, I'm serious. This is an actual thing. People were mad at the first Ancient album for how like melodic it was. They didn't even see it as black metal really, which is just weird to me. It just doesn't sit right. And the direction that he's gone in is so weird. It's like, I don't know. His albums are like themes based off of like a role-playing game. I know that.
Yeah, it's off of that werewolf game.
It's so nerdy.
Yeah.
Like, I don't mind.
Yeah,
I don't mind a
there's-
little bit of nerdiness, but like basing it off of like a freaking Dungeons and Dragons type game is a bit too far for me. What was I gonna
Well, I
say?
guess it's time for me to give my question.
Okay, let's do it.
Have you guys burnt any bridges that you regret?
Ooh.
We're getting
It doesn't have to be too. It doesn't have to be. I was gonna say, it doesn't have to be too personal. It doesn't have to be too personal. You don't have to. You don't have to tell me about how you ruined your life or something by telling.
It's a metal podcast, man.
We're gonna make this as personal as possible.
I'll be right back.
Okay.
Damn, he had to leave.
Burned any bridges in this sphere, this sector?
This is better.
Yes.
I'm not gonna name. I'm not gonna name any names. Okay, I'm not gonna name any names. But there's like, I guess, a semi-popular label that I used to be pretty good friends with. But they kind of went in a direction that I don't like, I'll say. Not just ideologically, but like releases, and they got, I guess, more aggressive with their ideology, which just made them unfun to talk to. And so I just stopped talking to them. And I'll tell you this: it is a label that releases a lot of Atmo Black. That's all I'm gonna
Just say
say.
the name.
I'm
Just
not gonna say the name.
Don't beat around the bush.
Just
I'm
They're
not gonna say the
listening.
name.
They're listening
Just do
right
it.
now. They're listening right now.
You're gonna have to draw a conclusion. We got the 10
Called
minutes.
Gems label.
This person's losing sleep. They're losing sleep. You're gonna think, was it me?
Should we do hail or fail? What do we think?
No?
I mean, we got about 10 minutes left.
Yeah.
What are we thinking?
Fuck
We
it.
could just.
Let's go.
All right.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Let's do it.
All right,
Eric's not here right now, but sure.
he'll be here. He will be
Okay.
here. All right, so
Okay,
let's.
Go in for a pack
no,
of cigarettes.
let's not start with Parasite Dreams.
Oh, okay. Let's start with Wobather then.
Yeah. Okay. We'll be there.
Okay. Yeah, this
Who's
is
going
what
first?
analysts developed opinion on, I think.
Who's
So
going first?
oh,
I'll go. Yeah.
okay.
Whoa, Baver. It kind of the drumming was pretty nice. I like the drumming a lot, but it kind of sort of falls into a. It's almost like I get the impression they're kind of trying to do like the Yavata Nicola, whatever, however you pronounce it thing.
Magua.
Yeah, or maybe like a slight Finnish sound, but it kind of dwells, especially on the first song. They dwell on the melody too much. There's not that much variance within it.
Yeah.
It's kind of it's just mostly like this cycling melodic riff, and not in a sort of hypnotic way where you kind of fall into a trance. It's just like
It's just you kind of zone off.
you can kind of like hear the gears churning in the songwriter's head.
Yeah.
Okay. They must think this is like the part where you're supposed to get really amped up.
I mean, one thing I really liked, I like the ambient sections. They reminded me of Ildjarn landscapes.
Mm-hmm.
The ambient sections were pretty nice, yeah.
They were pretty all right. My main thing, I really didn't like the vocal filters that he applied. I really don't like the vocals that he put over the filter because it's like. Yeah,
I noticed that. I'm trying to remember exactly what it sounded like. Describe it.
It's crunchy. That's my best way to describe it.
Yeah, the instrumentation was too clear, but the vocals were a bit crunchy.
Yeah, that was something. I wasn't a big fan of that. And I was like, this is very like dubiously depressive. And I actually looked at what label it was released under, and it was Jim's label. And that made a lot more sense. That made a lot more
truly
sense
a mark
after
of
I listened.
quality.
Jesus.
My biggest compliment is like the guitars were very like buzzy, and the leads were kind of a little bit more clean. So it reminded me a lot of like Peste Noire, where they have these very buzzy backing guitars contrasted with the melodic leads. And I think that's pretty cool, but you're right when you said it kind of dwells on the melody too much, and
especially on the first song. The first song, I got a bit like annoyed at it.
I was going for like 30 seconds. Shit.
we're doing hail or fail.
Okay.
We're talking about Wobather. Yep.
Yes.
And for that, I'm gonna say I would give it a hail. Just because I think the general idea is there.
Yeah.
Like it can be. It is pretty good. It's just not something that I would like listen to more than once every like 6 months. That's what I would say for it.
I see that.
Yeah, I can't. I think like what defines a hail or fail is whether or not you're going to listen to it again.
Yeah.
I can't really see that happening with me. So I'm gonna have to give this one a fail.
Yeah.
Oh,
For real.
Publicly shitting on this.
Publicly shaming.
Throwing tomatoes.
I'll go next. So first off, I want to say that the interludes were good.
Yes.
So I mean, there's that. So when I see Wobather with an album called May Loneliness Consume You, and if you look at the logo, and you look at the album title, you can count
Mm.
3 nooses total, right? So I was gonna go into this, and I was gonna expect the guitars to sound like it was played through paper or something, right? It was gonna have like a mutilation sound or something.
Were
But I
you
got
consumed
into
by
it,
loneliness?
and it had like the thickest guitar tone that I could imagine. Like I did not expect that at all. So I was just really thrown off at the start that it sounded like the way it did.
Yeah. I was
So
expecting it to be more depressive than it actually is.
yeah,
I was
that was
expecting straight
yeah.
up DSBM.
like it started with like a rock riff. That was like the first
Yeah,
thing you hear is like
that's what I was
rock and
thinking. It's like
roll.
it's too much of like a rock and roll like song structure.
So I was just kind of thrown
Fucking
off by that. But like I don't know, it's not reinventing the wheel of black metal in any way. But
Red
like
Stevens would have a field day on this.
it's But,
He'd
like-
have so many Nietzschean adjectives to come up with for this.
it wasn't
counterpoints.
it wasn't that bad either. So I was like, it's just like an all right kind of thing.
Yeah, it wasn't that bad.
But considering all that, I'll give it a fail. All in all honesty,
Okay. Okay.
I don't think I'll listen again.
All right, so Eric, what's your opinion on Woe Bather?
I had to go into it listening to it like kind of like how you said you do certain albums. I gotta close my door, shut my windows, turn off the light, just listen to it with my headphones sitting on my floor. And it was boring. It was a fucking boring experience. This album was shit. It was just droning on and on. I couldn't focus on it.
He's
It's
gonna
just
listen to
so
this.
boring.
What's he going to think?
I couldn't make better music.
Mr. Woe Bather.
Please.
Woe Bather
Yeah,
is
I also-
crying right now.
I also really
Mr.
wanna
Woe
say-
Bather himself.
Also, really want to say really quick that Woe Bather is one of the worst names I've ever heard. Woe Bather.
Fuck you, Woe Bather. I hope you
Oh,
die.
fuck.
I hope you kill yourself. Fuck you.
I
There.
hope loneliness
saying
consumes
whatever-
you.
Yeah,
Yes,
I think you're the
saying
person this was directed to. He wants loneliness to consume you. It's
Fuck.
He's projecting it outwards on other people.
so you're gonna give it a fail. So this is
Oh,
almost
easy fail.
almost all across the board. It's a fail. Okay. So
Yeah.
the next one, we're gonna talk about Parasite Dream. We're gonna talk about Parasite Dream.
Yeah.
Okay.
Man.
So here's the first thing I'm gonna say. The first thing I'm gonna say. The phaser on the intro track made me laugh out loud because it reminded me of like
yeah.
it reminded me of like a Michael Bay film.
That's what I thought.
It
I was
reminded me of
thinking, like,
something that I'd like hear in the
This
Matrix.
sounds like some like Blade Runner shit.
Yeah.
It almost was a bit charming to me.
I thought
I
it was
mean,
cool.
I was gonna like when I first listened to it, I thought I clicked on the wrong album. I really thought I did.
It almost kind of like just came at me with like it like almost in like a kind of like a sigh way, sort of, or
Yeah,
maybe like
it-
one of those Czech bands.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, I know
Yeah.
what you mean. And the biggest compliment I can give to this album is the vocals remind me heavily of Quintessence, which is one of my favorite like black
With a
thrash
Z?
bands. Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
You
I
know
kind
how
of got
he-
like a Varthron vibe. Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that too, where he was doing those like really operatic vocals where he kind of swells near the middle. I thought that was really cool. My favorite song on the album was probably Rotten Moral Obligations.
Yeah, I picked that one as well.
Yeah, that
Yeah.
it was definitely a ride. I feel like if he just shortened it to the intro and Rotten Moral Obligations, I would have liked this a lot more.
Mhm.
Just because I mean the style is cool. Like it's, like black metal punk, and he does some weird stuff, but I don't know. I don't think that would fit like a full length style. So
Well-
I would give it a fail, but I love the vocals. I think the intro is really interesting.
Yeah, okay, so I think you fake Eric abstruse. I think you mentioned a bit that I agree with, that you said that you like the thing they're going for,
Yeah.
You like the idea, and I want to say the same. I like what they were going for, but it really wasn't giving me much to go off on.
Exactly. You would rather listen to like any other black punk band. That's what I was thinking about it.
I mean, I was just listening to like the first couple of tracks. I'm just like kind of waiting it to like pop off, but it didn't
Yeah.
happen, you know?
Mhm.
And that was just kind of the feeling I was left with. And when I picked Parasite Dreams to like be in this segment, I thought it was gonna be like this really cool like 80s death thrash like necrovore type stuff based on like the cover and artwork and all that.
Yeah.
But like I just got fooled. I straight up got fooled.
You got absolutely fooled.
Yeah, I got trolled, you know? And considering like this style of music, I think the band Stress Angel from New York is like doing this type of thing, but just more like nuanced and just complete. It's like they got that style, but they got it like really nailed down and they're doing it for real. And also their vocals, they had some really cool vocal parts and all that. But again, Stress Angel from New York, they're doing it, but just even better. So yeah.
I've heard of Stress Angel. I just don't listen to him because of the
Yeah, you
name.
gotta check it
Same,
out.
same.
You gotta check out the
Silly-
album.
silly
called,
name.
Check out
Yeah,
the
it's-
album, guys, please.
check
I'm
out the
begging
album
you.
Bursting Church. by
But don't
Stress
check out
Angel.
Woe Bather though. Fuck Woe Bather.
Don't listen to Woe Bather.
It was
Don't listen
not
to
good.
Parasite Dreams. Listen to Stress Angel. You know, considering like it's Stress Angel is a funny ass name, but like it's actually good. It's actually really good music.
So you're gonna give it a fail.
I'm giving it a total fail.
Okay.
And also intro outro, they're cool.
Yeah, the intro is cool. The intro I mean
Yeah.
like it was off-putting for black metal, which is something like
Yeah.
that is very valuable now, because I would have preferred that over like the same vampiric sounding intro that literally every single Bandcamp
That is true.
The same
band
forest recording that I hear everywhere.
or if it's
Very-
D's Irae, oh my god. Every time I hear that as an intro, it pisses me off. That's why I can't listen to that one Graveland. Is it in the glare of burning churches where they do
Yeah.
these? Yep. God damn it. I just don't like it.
Doing Verminous Night now?
Whoa.
Eric.
Hey.
Eric.
Oh, yeah.
Hold
Waiting
on.
on Eric.
Yeah, me.
Oh,
Jesus, dude.
He's gonna defend
What
this.
the
I
fuck?
have to defend this.
He's
I have
gonna
I have the contrarian opinion here. Fuck.
yeah.
I don't know what to say about this. It was good all around. It was the only one in the whole Hail or Fail playlist that made me actually like
Bang.
not like actually like perk up and like want to listen to more of it.
Wow.
My favorite track had to have been Rotten Moral Obligation. I think you both
Yep.
agreed with that. But I think the intro and outro, like you said, it was very unconventional, and I think that was very
Yeah.
good for it.
You go into it expecting the rest to be unconventional, though. That's the biggest thing. Is like
yeah.
you hear such an unconventional like intro, and you're like, damn, maybe the black metal is going to be a little bit different from what I've heard, but most of it wasn't. There were some moments on like Rotten Moral Obligations where like I was like, oh, it's kind of cool that they did that. And then you have the song that's after Rotten Moral Obligations that serves as like kind of like the Wrath from the Cold or Slept Below, where it's like just a really short freaking song. It's just
It was
I was-
Rotten Moral Obligation that like made me like check in like, oh, what track is this? Like I wanna see.
That fuck.
It was all the same track.
Fuck. I was gonna say the same thing. Rotten Moral Obligation is the savior of this little demo album.
yeah.
It is.
It is an album.
Oh, is it? Okay. This
Yeah.
little album, I guess. It was a really good track. I enjoyed all of it, but I will say the ones surrounding it are not good. They're not bad. They're all right. I think Eric, you said it. It's hard to fuck up being a black punk band.
Yeah, there's literally nothing. It's hard to do something wrong. Let's just say that. Like it's
Alright.
if you say I found a good black punk band, it's just going to be redundant because the word black punk it already references that it's good. But we're gonna do Verminous Knife next, right?
No.
Mhm.
No.
Why
I
not?
haven't given my opinion yet.
Oh, you haven't?
Oh, I
Fuck
thought you
you.
did.
Stepping on me. Yeah. you're not gonna get much like surprising from me. I mean, yeah, it's beyond the intro. It's like you can see what they're going for. Like I read a bit of the description of it, and it seemed like they're trying to go for this kind of like dystopian vibe. And I guess contextualizing that with the intro, it's like it's almost like this kind of cyberpunk kind of like atmosphere, sort of, where it's almost like this. If they're trying to go for a cold alienation vibe, like
Yeah.
a mechanistic sort of vibe, they definitely got that on the intro and the outro, but everything around it, it was like a different band. It's like it's almost like the intro and the outro were just made by a different band. But I mean, if they could integrate those aesthetics into the actual
Yeah.
mid part of the album, I think that would
Yeah, it
have helped
definitely
them out a lot.
feels it definitely feels like they like recorded the music and then they recorded the intro and the outro instead of
Yeah.
like having them be codependent.
Yeah, when I heard the intro, I thought I was gonna hear like something like Malacarpatam, where they have like
Oh,
Ooh.
that
yeah.
weird synthy stuff going
Yeah.
on. They had or like was it Zemiel or Agatus that had like the Moog synth? I'm trying to
think it's
remember which
Zemiel.
of those. Agatus is like the more progressive. No, fuck, they're both like this prog rocky sort of thing. So, I mean, if that's what they're going for, they should probably take a few notes from them. But yeah, I'm
Yeah.
gonna give it a tentative fail.
Fail.
I'm not.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not shitting on it.
So
So far-
Damn.
yeah,
So
it's
far-
3 fails versus 1 hail again.
So far we have 2 fails. Okay.
Yes.
Next we're going to
Please.
talk about Verminous Knife. Now the first
Yeah.
thing I noticed about this was it had the
Orders.
guy from Till and Zirjan. And if you don't know anything about this guy, basically what he'll do is he'll like feature on albums that would already have like a freaking drum machine on it. So I really respect him for that, just because he helps out kind of like the USBM scene a lot in that way. Even though this isn't USBM, he does the synths too, which I think the synths are fantastic. I would say that these are the best.
Yeah,
I would say that these are the best synths out of all 4 entries.
that's what I was thinking.
I think the best song on the album is "Punished to a Life Sentence." What else? I was mainly focusing on the drumming on this album, and I think the drumming is pretty spectacular. The fills are creative. They do nice. The fills lead like nice segues into other riffs. I think it's an overall just solid black metal album. There's nothing I can say that like that's bad about it or anything that's like exceptionally great about it, other than the synths and the drumming. I would say that like ideally, I think the guitars would have been placed a bit higher. Like I would have preferred something. Now this isn't me. This is just kind of the artist's preference, but I would have preferred for the guitars to be more legible, considering that this Till guy is taking basically full front stage with synths and drums. But that's just me. So I'm gonna give it a hail.
All right. Who's next?
I'll go next. Yeah, I really like the synths. There were so many interesting kind of synth textures they used. It almost had a bit of a Limbonic art sort of vibe, but not quite.
Yeah, I could see that.
Not too like explicit like Limbonic art, maybe a bit more subtle. But
Yeah.
it's not symphonic, but the synths were definitely there. That was definitely what
Yeah,
stood out the most to me.
Most of the time I was playing the root, but every now and then there would be like kind of a lick around it, and I'd be a little bit impressed by that.
Besides that, I didn't pay too much attention to any of the vocals or the guitars or drums or anything else. I think the synths were probably what got the most of my attention, honestly.
That's fair.
But
I mean, yeah.
yeah, it's pretty good. I think I noticed that this is from the Spain, and I guess they played in Vampiric Winter, which has some
Oh,
other guys. I've
that
been
makes
seeing a
more
lot of
sense.
them lately. Their logos look like they're all done by the same guy, but yeah, I'm gonna give it I'm gonna give it a
Hail.
hail. Light
Okay.
hail. It's pretty good.
Mhm.
Eric.
I feel
Masticator.
indifferent about this album. It didn't have any special moments in it besides Punished to a Life Sentence. That was a really good track. I loved that one. The rest of the album just felt generic, like I've heard it all before. I feel like I could have gone to like any other new band from 2022 and gotten almost the same experience. And I feel like the artwork for it is just it also put me off to it. It's
Well, yeah.
another black
The
and
art-
white image and $50 frame.
The art was the most unappealing thing to me.
Oh yeah, the art was.
I think I know what I'm in for.
Yeah.
Yeah, I went into it expecting some like having expectations because of the art, and those it was basically met because it
Can we
was
just like go back to having nice like bright album covers like not like the blue ones. Too many people seem to focus on the blue ones by Necrolord, but I don't know.
I think
color
we
would be
need more
nice.
album covers that are drawn by the artist.
Yeah, I
By
think
the
the black and
band.
white, the
Yeah.
black and white border thing is kind of I think it's
It's-
overstayed its welcome.
It's enough.
I think it's
now,
time.
enough.
It's
It
time.
could have
It's
been-
time to take this thing out to pasture.
I think it could at least be interesting if fucking even a change of color, change the white to anything fucking else.
Yes,
It- it-
literally.
It blends
I'm grasping.
I like,
just
What is
invert
it?
the
Yellow,
colors, please.
orange and black is a really good color scheme. You see that in like Cult of the Lizard God. You see that in
Yeah.
Ox Cult. There was one other German band. I'm trying to remember. Shit, I can't remember it. But it was a good German band that did that too. Like black and orange is really great. I don't really like black and green though. Just if they inverted the colors, it'd be a lot better. I do
like black and yellow.
Yeah, I just wish that more, because a lot of these artists can draw their own album covers. You know, a lot of them do two separate things. The thing that pisses me off is like Rotting Rain album covers. I don't know why
Oh my God.
I have such a stigma against them, but whenever I see an album that has a Rotting Rain album cover, I will not listen to it. I refuse to listen to it.
This is like the third time you mention him.
I know
Yes.
it's
Like
that like
you have a
it-
hate boner.
it's that bad. It's that
Give him a
bad.
break, man. Give him a break.
Throughout every episode now, there's going to be a constant. There's going to be the Rotting Rain segment.
He's like,
Just let Eric go off about him for like 5 minutes. No
I
response.
like his art. I just don't like the bands that use his art. All right.
Yeah. So, Verminous Knife, Malignant Descent.
So hail.
I mean, as mentioned by everyone, I think the synth work throughout the album was really good, and I want to point out that the vocals, they were like really sharp and pained vocals, but it
Like
stayed
Hat?
that way throughout the album. So it was really consistent vocals in like that
Yeah.
sort of pained sound, and that the slower sections of the album really like contrasted well with the harsher parts for a really nice balance throughout.
Yeah, there was a really good flow. I don't think there was any
Yeah.
I don't think there was a moment where kind of the changing of riffs seemed awkward to me.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
So, and like it hit this like sort of hypnotic moment that like Woe Bather tried to get but like couldn't do, I
Yeah.
think. So it certainly gets a hail from me.
I liked it quite a bit. So we got, what is it, 2 hails or 3 hails, 1 fail, right?
Again,
Yeah,
third time. Always 3 hails,
So,
1 fail.
we saved the best for last. Mystical
Exactly.
Fortress of Iberian Lands. I think that's what it's called.
Like Calderum.
Calderum.
Oh, Durham.
I mean, you hear the term like old school get thrown around a lot in the sphere of like modern raw black metal, or just black metal in general. And I think this is kind of like the prime example of
Mhm.
old school.
Yeah.
This is like,
Even the picture's like a very 90s sort of
Oh,
thing.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
this is like, I'm talking maybe early Spite, kind of in that strain of things. And I really
I'd like to point out the member was, I believe he was either a live member or a member of a Spanish death metal band called Graveyard, who I have heard of. I've never listened to him.
Oh,
I probably don't like him. I probably wouldn't like him, but I just think that's interesting to point out.
I have
I
one
think
of
that
their
might
LPs.
influence
It's
it
not
a
that
little
good.
bit.
so I mean, overall, I was actually really impressed. The biggest issue with these old school like black metal bands is a lot of the times you can see where the riffs are going, but I had moments where like he would stop on like a resolution, and I'd be really surprised at where a riff would end up.
Mhm.
So I constantly found myself getting surprised by what it was. The drumming was very solid, very, very good. I'm definitely going to give this a hail. This is something that I would probably listen to like once a month. This is definitely something I would visit again.
Yeah. I I I have a similar opinion. It's probably also a very similar opinion to the one I had on Verminous Knife. It's mostly, again, the synths were what stood out to me. I can't quite remember too many of the riffs or the drumming or even the vocals, but yeah, I mean, it's definitely the synths were good. The yeah, it seemed I hope they don't get like too focused on the aesthetics like some of these 90s revivalist
Yeah, the
bands
90s.
do.
Yeah.
Some of them seem to get too hung up on that sort of thing.
Yeah.
But
I got
yeah,
a lot of
I'm gonna give it a hail.
yeah. I got a lot of like I guess Finnish black metal influence, I'd say, on
Mhm.
like early stuff, maybe even like Horna, stuff like that. Or at least that's kind of what I got out of it. It's more dependence on guitar at the
I can see
forefront.
myself revisiting it
Oh yeah, absolutely. I liked it.
more so than anything else here.
Oh yeah. And what are you guys thinking?
Yeah, this was pretty close on the cusp of being a fail to me, but
Oh.
Oh,
yeah,
what?
no, but it is. I'd say it's hail. It's really good. Besides, I don't know, maybe it was like what I was listening to it on because I listened to it twice in two different settings. Uh, the vocals were I felt almost non-existent on some tracks. It felt like they were definitely there, but I feel like I had to like really listen in for them. But the synths, the drums, it's all very, very beautiful on this album.
Yeah. And that's kind of what he was going for was I guess lower vocals in the mix just cuz that's of course what the classics are is the
Yeah.
vocals aren't always that present.
I think that to me though, that is kind of what makes and breaks albums. If it has just shitty vocals, I know you've said that what make or breaks album for you is like the drumming, but
Yeah.
the vocals for me, like I can have a beautiful track, beautiful melody, whatever it is, and then he just comes out with shit vocals, and it's just
Absolutely, I agree.
it feels like the track is a joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And one thing I will add is like well I don't think a lot of artists pay attention to this, but vocal insertions is really important. Like focusing on where you insert your vocals in relation to the music
Yeah.
is so unbelievably important, and it can really make or break how catchy a song is. You know what I mean? Like, could you
Moonblood,
imagine? Yeah, could you imagine
Moonblood,
like
if they didn't do that, if they didn't sing like they're not singing across the music. There's
yeah,
like a bit of a rhythm to it. It's almost yeah, it's kind of interlocked.
yeah, I'm thinking like Moonblood. I'm thinking uh
You'll notice this in death metal too. Too many of the Incanta clone bands,
yeah.
they go across the music and it's just like this kind of stream of
Goat Moon does it
consciousness.
really well
Like,
too. Goat Moon
okay,
does
it's
it
just a guy crawling.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Goat Moon does it really good, especially on like the
Yeah.
demos like Kunia Armageddon.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Black Metal Winter is so catchy, and it would not be as catchy without kind of his vocal, the cadence that he applies. And
Also want to say that the Infestor demo has some really cool
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
rhythmic
Yes.
vocal parts.
Yeah.
I love the bass on the Infestor demo.
It's
That's
really
probably my
like
favorite part.
vocally inspiring to me as a
Yeah.
vocalist. As well as Order from Chaos, first album.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, about the album, about the topic, about Caldera.
Oh yeah.
Are you done with that?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, okay. So I want to say that out of all the albums, this was like without a doubt the most visually pleasing album cover,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
and like really evoked the like old school vibe of like, say for example, Root, with their second album.
Oh
Like
fuck.
of him in the cave and he's just looking
Root.
up.
Yeah. Like if this is something released in like, 1995 or 96,
Yeah, it just
Zjeveni.
it
looks
wouldn't be
at
out of
home.
place.
Yeah, exactly. So it had that as like a really good bonus point. And like with the instruments, it just had a really like natural blend to it. It like sounded like it was a rehearsal in a way. So like it just
Mhm.
like not a rehearsal recording, but like if you were present at the rehearsal and like everything just sounded really natural.
It's kind of like The Dwelling, like Sabat.
Yeah,
where
like
it's
it just sounds like it hasn't been fucked with like in post.
exactly.
It sounds like really real. And I don't know, it just like that factor alone just made it a whole lot enjoyable to listen to. And the use of synthesizer didn't make it this like theatrical thing, but like more of a ghastly haunting kind of atmosphere going on, which was really cool. And yeah, I just liked it a whole lot. And like the synth outro was just blew me away, really, because I mean in black metal, if you have like a synth track that sounds like it fits in a Lord of the Rings movie, and it's like it's not like a crazy statement, but that just really just
Yeah.
100% emitted that feeling to me, and just like was really
Mhm.
a nice listen. So
Yeah.
that's a total hail for me.
Oh yeah. I think inserting a synth part is kind of like a forgotten art in black metal too, because a lot of times with these like modern bands, you will have a pretty relatively good like synth part, but it won't match the rest of the music. But with this, I can see kind of a natural progression from the music to the synth outro.
Yeah, because like
Even the most guitar-based bands have synth parts. I mean, yeah, Morbid Angel notoriously had synth parts, whether they were good or not
Yeah.
is up for debate, but they were there. But I mean, even Graham Belisle's Key, I mean, they have the that song. It's not original. It's literally just that "Walking in the Air" song,
yeah.
like redone. But even Argos, like they had in one of their demos, they had an original song. It was Fascist Inculcation, and it was just like drums and synth. So I mean, it's worth considering that even the most guitar-based bands, synths are truly a forgotten art of this time.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
like it didn't really feel like a synth part, but like it was just a track on its own to me. It was just really
Yeah,
it
yeah, I
just really
didn't I
stood
didn't want to
out.
skip. I didn't want to
Yeah.
skip it.
So it's a hail. It's a hail.
There's
All
hail all
across the
across the
board.
board.
Shit.
Yep.
There you
Really.
So
go.
I think Aiden wins this week's hail or fail. I think
I didn't know there was gonna be a winner.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I didn't know there was a
We need
competition. I want to show something
when
good.
no. The
we're gonna
point
need like a
is
belt. We're gonna
the
need a
point
belt, like a championship belt or something to
WWE.
bestow upon the winner. We need to
you
get like
win
Vince
a,
McMahon out of retirement.
a day's worth of drape juice.
A day's worth of drink. We haven't even discussed what's in the grape juice.
Oh.
That
I'm
is
not
that is a
drinking it till
private
I know
thing.
what's in
Yeah,
it.
No,
it's up for interpretation. It's like each to their own.
to each their own.
Yes, it ruins
There
the
is
majesty and the
yeah,
mystique of the grape juice.
of course. If we told you, it wouldn't be grape juice anymore. It would just be whatever we put into it. And okay. And to finish off the episode, of course, here's what we're gonna do. Just let's just list off some stuff that you've been listening to recently.
Oh shit, true.
Oh fuck.
Uh-oh, you weren't prepared for that.
No,
Oh,
I
I
have some
forgot.
shit open that I just forgot about this.
I'll start off then. So I've been listening to some Spite Extreme Wing, and by extension, I've been listening to Esmagor, which features a member of the band. A funny thing about them, I told you about them before, Masticator, but they were on the same label as Molested, which is a really cool.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Everything on that
Forgot about
label, it was really good.
Oh
It's kind of
fuck!
weird how, huh?
On Effigy Records, right?
Yeah, I believe it was that one. I've been listening to Iga here, really great neo folk black metal from Poland. Thor a lot. You guys probably know them. It's like
Yeah.
it's like Portuguese cynic kind of. They're very good. I was listening to one of their demos, and I hate comparing everything to like Argo Slint, but I was like, the vocal slurring on this reminds me just like Argo Slint. And then the last one was a newer release, Olatom Hemisperia. It's like DSBM from France, and they had these really weird like heavy metal lead solos, and I thought that was really off-putting for DSBM. And that's just about everything that I've been listening to recently, other than the average stuff that I listen to.
Yeah. Who's next in the ring?
Who's next?
Fuck. I guess I'll go. Someone I've been listening to a lot of is probably a death metal band from Arizona, Excommunion. They have Nightbringer's guitarist, but yeah, it's very interesting because it's all they could be categorized in the Incanticlone kind of category, but there's also like they sound the most like later Immolation to me, but the drums are pretty wild. And their most recent album, I'm trying to remember the name. It's the interesting thing about them is that there's basically like several incarnations of Excommunion, but they all share the same vocalist. The members seem to switch, but the vocalist is probably one of my favorite death metal vocalists ever. He's just got such a I don't even know how to describe it. It's almost a bit like Ross Dolan from Immolation again.
Oh, yeah, I get you.
It's got, it's, I don't know how to describe it. It's very, like I described Gateways, it's very volcanic. It sounds kind of explosive especially with the drums. The drums have sort of a Longstreth era Angel Corpse thing going on, but it's pretty good. It's the riffs didn't stand out to me too much, but the vocals surprisingly were what kept me on my feet the most of the time.
If we're talking about bands like Immolation,
it's almost like that. It's almost exactly like what you'd imagine a death metal version of Nightbringer or Achilles or Aeretos to be.
Oh, okay. If we're talking about bands like Immolation, though, do you like Damnation, Rebel Souls? Do you know them?
The Polish band?
Yep.
Yeah, yes, I like the Polish Damnation. They're pretty good. Yeah. Their vocalist is like a bodybuilder or something. He's like a famous Polish strongman.
That's interesting.
That's what I've been listening to.
All right. And so next we got Masticator.
Yeah, so I've been
the drape juice is getting to you.
I just gotta be real right here. And so I've been listening to a lot of Drowning in the Light. I can't
This
lie.
is a great shock to me. Betrayed all your ideals.
I can't lie. It's like my most listened to band this week is Drowning in the Light, and I can't help it. It just happens, you know.
Better only be like 2 fucking albums.
You've been letting that Jaeger hit
like
too
the thing.
You've been hitting the bottle too much.
The thing is they I think it's the 2018 album, the one with the fish.
The fish album.
Curse Below the Waves.
Curse
He looks like a light skin. It's like the light skin fish.
He does.
He looks like his name is like Dareth or something.
So,
the light skin deep one.
The fifth track on that called "This Night He Will Drink the World." I don't know. That song is just so addicting. I've been listening to it so much. So like, I haven't been listening to albums. I've been just listening to that one song. And yeah, okay, enough down in the light.
How
I've been
dire
listening
the situation
to.
is.
Thank God.
I've been listening to. It's not metal, but like Swedish punk, whether it be like D beat or like post punk type stuff. It's like I've been just listening to that with like anti-Cymex and shit liquors and that kind of stuff.
That's fun. I like.
Yeah, it's
I've
really
been
fun
listening to a
music.
bit of post punk recently.
You know,
Nothing
if
too
it's
much.
Swedish post punk, I've got to hear about this.
Yeah,
because-
the band is called Garbo Shock. I'll link it to you later. It's really good.
Okay.
And some other stuff. Again, not too proud to announce this, but
Uh-oh.
Cemetery.
I've been listening to a lot of
Billie Eilish.
Goat Vulva, which to those who don't know is the quote booze project of Nuclear Holocaust of Vengeance and Cinematic Slaughter from Beharit, and it's not music, it's just like noise, and every now and then you can hear like a primitive black metal riff, but like I don't know why I've been listening to it so much, but it's just like
It's the
these-
same. Oh, it's the
these
same
fun-
appeal
this-
as like. Oh, sorry.
I don't know why. It was just like it has these like funny like porn samples of like music and shit, and just it's fun to listen to. I don't know why I listen to it so much, but like yeah, it's just been that.
It's the same
Really?
appeal as like Waco Jesus and what is it? Freaking I can't remember the name now. Meat Shits. The same appeal as those
Yeah,
kind of where it's just
it's
really
like-
stupid.
It's like sort of that. It's really stupid, but I just can't stop listening to it for some reason. And to like end it off just as silly, I want to say Woods of Infinity again. Like it's just mentally
The pedo band.
insane black metal. It's just
Silly.
it's so strange. Like how does that even get to happen?
Aren't they on the anti-Geldof compilation?
Why do they have against that guy?
I don't know.
What do they
I
have
don't know.
against that guy?
All I know is that I just uploaded a video by the Chilean band Bewitched. They were also on that compilation. It's such a weird like collection of bands and different
Yeah.
sounds.
They
But,
just
like-
hate
And they
a
all
random
hate
rich
Bob
guy.
Geldof.
It's
All
just
united.
Woods of
It's the
Infinity. It's so strange because like when you look at the discography, it's like they have these like sort of Norse core ass albums, and then you look at the demos, and you got the one called Forintelse or Libido, and it's so weird because like throughout the entire demo, you have like Frank Sinatra samples and like just like really strange, just like radio.
Do you remember
clips.
the one where he like auto-tuned a dog barking and turned it into synths? Dude,
It's just
when I
it's-
heard, oh my god.
This is the mindset of a person who just hates Bob Geldof for no reason in particular.
And one day, for no reason at all, I don't.
I haven't listened to him, but I've seen some of the liner notes you guys have sent. They are
Oh,
really
yeah.
something.
Slowly, I began to hate them.
There's one liner note that really cracked me up. I probably can't say this because it's getting posted on YouTube, but
Say it.
the
We're
picture
not
was
monetized.
him. He had his like he was like growling and grabbing a girl's like breasts, and he was like, "Death to America, death to homosexuals,
Wait,
death
this
to
won't get taken
Muslims,
down. Yeah,
death to
this is fine.
Christianity."
I've heard worse.
And he was just listing off everything that he hated while like flexing some random girl's boobs.
yeah. I don't know, just like Woods of
Thanks.
Infinity is like probably the most like mentally ill black metal band that I know. But it's just they have so good songs.
And actually, this would have perfectly answered like some of the stupidest lyrics ever when he said, "Summer is not my friend."
I forgot about that. Holy shit, I should've
Neither.
mentioned that. Oh my
Neither is
God.
Bob Geldof.
Summer is
This
not
is
my
such-
friend.
He might just be autistic. We need to consider this.
I would
All
say
right,
it's
it's-
outsider music.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
we're at less than a
technically-
minute.
It really
now.
is like outsider black metal for sure.
And
We're at
I-
less than a minute.
I
Less
guess
than a
this
minute.
concludes it.
Yeah.
Next episode is going to be interviewing two Keller figures. I'm not going to name them yet, but they are coming. All right. I guess
gonna be
that's it.
great.
That concludes episode 1 of Occult Abyss.
of
You can stop
It's the
recording.
inaugural episode.
Wow.
Goat horns
So it
too.
concludes.